Kia ora koutou, welcome to this week's live. Soaking up some sun in the garden, which is my favourite thing to do on a Friday afternoon, weather permitting, making the most of that and trying to get a bit of a tan for my upcoming wedding. And let's face it, we can't really go anywhere for that at the moment, so it's a domestic tan that's necessary, even in Wellington. So today I've been in Porirua at a speaking event this morning to a room full of fabulous women in business. We were talking the Superwoman balancing act, we were talking resilience, and we were talking obviously imposter syndrome, and particularly how that adds a barrier sometimes to our business, particularly as solopreneurs, when we are the face of our business in terms of how it plays out in our pricing, in our worth, in our value, in the way we sell ourselves. So really enjoyed that, and so appreciating being back out connecting live with people, given this year and the ups and downs we've had in terms of live events and gatherings. And I'm looking forward to 2 weeks off. So next week I will be entering into a 2-week break, so you probably won't see as much of me. I'm getting married next weekend, which I'm very excited about, and having a week off either side, and looking forward to a honeymoon / holiday, just a break really, as part of that. You might have seen the blog that I posted last week about fatigue, general COVID fatigue, I guess, given the year that we've had, and the emotional roller coaster that makes everything we do this year so much more difficult, whether that's planning a wedding or running our business, just the on-off nature of life at the moment, the uncertainty, the distance between family members. I felt quite a lot of that getting on top of me a couple of weeks ago, and wrote about that, and it's something that's resonated with many of you. I think we're all in a similar boat in that position, in that space, with regards to this year having felt like a very long one already, and we're just into October. But today I want to talk about, last week on the live we talked about our negativity bias, and how offsetting our negativity bias helps improve our confidence. And part of that, negativity bias comes up in so much of the work that I do, and part of that is this inability we have to accept praise or to talk about what we're good at, because it's all very well in theory to say, to offset our negativity bias, we need to celebrate our successes, we'll talk about our strengths, but we know, particularly in our Kiwi culture, that that's not always accepted, and it's not always something we're very good at, because we've never been taught to do it. In fact, often quite the opposite. Often we've been taught that we should be quite self-deprecating, that in fact we shouldn't really have any strengths that we talk about and boast about. And it came up this morning. What's the difference between humility and confidence? And can we be confident without being seen as arrogant or boastful, or a tall poppy? And how do we accept praise and recognition while still retaining our humility, which is so important? I'm just going to wait for this plane to go over. The joys of living near an airport. And here's how I framed it this morning, and something that I think will resonate in this space. It's a continuum. It's a continuum in terms of self-belief, where imposter syndrome lives down at this end, where we don't believe in our own abilities, and we do often wave away praise and become quite self-deprecating in that space. And then arrogance and the tall poppy and the boastfulness and often narcissism, if we're going all that way, is this end of the scale. And where we want to be is here in the middle. So we don't want to be self-deprecating, and we don't want to be a narcissist. We want to be in the middle, quietly confident. And this is the thing, because I think particularly in our Kiwi culture, we think it's one or the other. We don't see it as a continuum. And therefore we feel that if we talk about our strengths, celebrate our successes, agree with someone who's giving us praise, that we're at this end of the scale, and we might be seen as a tall poppy or boasting. But saying yes, accepting praise, acknowledging your achievements, you can do that in a humble way. You can still do that and retain your humility. You can still be modest by accepting praise and recognition and talking about your strengths. So it's like this quiet confidence. It's this subtle modesty we have. It's when we stand in our power and we know who we are and what we're good at and why, and what we give to the world in terms of what others appreciate. So the next time someone gives you praise and recognition, rather than worrying about, I have to self-deprecate to be seen as modest, if we just accept that we can humbly achieve, and we can be quietly confident, and all of that stuff puts us in the middle of that continuum that helps offset our imposter syndrome without us stepping over into these fears of, will I be seen as boasting? Am I being arrogant? Having strengths does not mean we're arrogant. Knowing our skills does not mean we're arrogant. And celebrating our successes does not mean we're not humble. So we can do all that still with our humility, our modesty, and in a humble way. So I wanted to make that clear because it does come up so often. So often I'm asked the question, yeah, but if I celebrate my successes or acknowledge someone's acknowledgement of me, will they think I'm boasting, or am I being a narcissist? And I think a lot of that comes from our Kiwi culture, because we have been conditioned to equate modesty to self-deprecation. So I wanted to clear that up because it's something that comes up often when we talk about our negativity bias. So what else is going on? Well, you'll have seen this week, potentially, if you're on the mailing list, that a survey has gone out. I know that surveys are not our favourite things, and it only takes 4 minutes, and there's an awesome prize to win. So I want to know your thoughts. I'm about to start putting my plan for 2021 together, and I'd love to know your thoughts, the stuff you're struggling with, the challenges you're having, the things you want to see more of, so that when I design that program for 2021, it's one that you're going to want to see and get a lot out of and see a lot of value in. So for all those that complete the survey, you will enter the prize draw. The prize draw is worth up to $1,000. It does include a free 1-hour session via Zoom with me, plus books, plus online courses, plus some other really cool stuff. So it's well worth 4 minutes of your time, and it's my way of saying thank you for taking some time out and giving me your opinion. The other thing I'd love your opinion on, and that's about to happen early next week, is the new book cover. Now, this is always something I'm really fascinated by. So you know that the new book, I Love Mondays, is well underway, being written. Thank you for all those that have responded about the case study interviews. For those of you that love your jobs, we are now full. We've got so many people to interview, which is awesome, and I'm looking forward to hearing more of those stories, but we're not looking for any more. However, I would love to know what you think of the book cover, and I have 4 now in the shortlist, so I'm going to put that out probably early next week, and I'd love to know your thoughts. So please keep an eye out for that over the social media channels, and let me know which one you'd like to vote for, because it's always interested me when I see these covers come in from the designers and talk to my partner and nearest and dearest, and we think we know the one that's going to land, and then I get so much more feedback that helps inform what actually is the best cover to go with. So looking forward to hearing your thoughts on that. Otherwise, I hope you have a fabulous weekend. I'll be off as of Wednesday for a couple of weeks. Looking forward to that and having a break, and looking forward to catching up with you again soon when I return. Ka kite ana.